Hey guys, this is Mr. Ford. I thought I'd get on here and do the Algebra 1 study guide for our first test. Again, just want you guys to feel super confident and ready to go for the test tomorrow. So, wanted to work this entire thing with you. So if you have any questions, just watch this video as much as you need, and hopefully that'll help you. Otherwise, you can come see me before the test tomorrow. But first things first, if you look at number 1, it says circle which set or sets the number below belongs to. So if you remember in class, we have the following types of numbers. Let me get a small thing here. Okay, so I have these things called real numbers. Real numbers are all of the numbers in the whole world. So any number you could possibly think of. And those are separated into two groups. So I have rational and irrational. Okay, so rational numbers are like the number 1, 2, 3, or a number that has a decimal that terminates, so like 1.2, or a fraction, so like maybe 1/2, or the final one is a decimal that repeats forever and ever and it has a pattern. So that's a rational number. Irrational numbers are numbers like pi, and pi equals 3.1415, and it goes on forever, and there's no pattern at all. So that's decimals that go on forever with no pattern. Underneath rational numbers, you have integers. Remember, integers are counting numbers, so any number on a number line. So like -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Any number from negative infinity to positive infinity on a number line. Remember, there's no decimals. But then, under integers, you have these things called whole numbers. Whole numbers are on a number line, but the difference between this is they start at 0 and they go to infinity. Oh, skipped 1. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to infinity, and they're counting numbers, so there's no decimals at all. And the final one is called natural numbers. Remember I told you in class, natural has an N in it, and so does the number 1. So natural numbers start at 1, and they go to infinity. Okay? So then whenever we look at 65, we say, 65 is a real number because it's a number. And we say it's rational. So let me circle these. So we say it's a real number. Then we said it's rational. If it's rational, it cannot be irrational. Then we say, is it an integer? Is it on a number line? And we say, oh yeah, of course it is. So we say it's an integer. Is it a whole number? We say it's bigger than 0 and it's on a number line. So it's a whole number and it's a natural number because it's bigger than 1. Okay? So 1 and it's a counting number. So it's all of them except for irrational. You'll have one very similar tomorrow, so make sure you know that. Okay, then we go to multi-step equations. Okay, remember our goal is for our letters to be on one side and for our numbers to be on the other side. So the first thing I always do is I always draw my river. So let's make our river blue. So there's my river. Okay, so I'm going to combine like terms first. So I have 8p, because 5p plus 3p is 8p, minus 8 equals p minus 1. Okay, then I got to get all my p's on the same side, so I'm going to subtract a p, subtract a p. So now I have 7 p's on this side, minus 8, and I have -1 because these cancel out. Now I get to get my numbers on the same side, so I add 8 to both sides. Okay, so then I have 7 equals 7p. And how do I get rid of multiply by 7? Divide by 7. And what I do to the right, I do to the left. You guys have heard that a lot. Okay, so now it's p equals 1. So that is my answer for number 1. Well, number 2. Okay, number 3, same thing. It's called the distributive property, but some of us know it as the Coke driver. So I do -4 times v, which is -4v, and -4 times 3, which is -12. And that's equal to -12 minus 4v. What you guys can see on this is that this -4v is the same as this negative 4v. And this negative 12 is the same as this negative 12. So we have the same thing on both sides. So that means there is infinite solutions. That's your answer. Number 4, again, we have the Koch driver / distributive property method. So we have negative 3 plus 6b equals, let's draw a river really quick. Can't forget that. 6b plus 5. Now we got to get all the letters on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 6b from both sides. So now I have negative 3. These cancel, equals, these cancel, 5. And then I ask myself, hey, Mr. Ford, is negative 3 equal to 5? Hopefully my answer is no. So I say, no way. But the mathy way to say it is I say no solutions. And that is my answer. Okay, number 5. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Let's draw a river. So say these are equal. Okay, then I do 5/4 times 4x. Okay, plus 5/4 times negative 12. Because I do the Koch driver. So when I do 5/4 times 4x, my 4's cancel out. So let's write this. Negative 3x minus 6 equals 5x. Okay. Then I do 5 times negative 12, which is minus 60 over 4. Okay, so then I have minus 3x minus 6 equals 5x minus 15. Then it's pretty simple from there. I have to get all the things on the same side. So I'm going to add 3x to the right side. So plus 3x plus 3x. These cancel. Minus 6 equals 8x minus 15. Get the 15 on the other side, because I want all my letters on one side. 9 equals 8x. How do I get rid of times or multiply by 8? I divide by 8. So my answer is 9 divided by 8. Some of you guys, I think it's like you get 1.2 something something, and that is okay as well. But I'm just going to leave it as x equals 9/8. Okay, number 6, same thing, distributive property. So negative 3 times 4, negative 3 times 3, so negative 12x minus 9 plus Koch truck driver, 24x plus 4 equals 43. Let's draw that river, always blue because water is blue. Sometimes, I guess. Okay, then I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have negative 12 plus 24x. We're going to say that's 12x. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5 equals 43. Okay, then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So 12x equals 48. Divide both sides by 12. So x is equal to 4. There we go. Okay, second page says solve for the given variable. So we're going to solve for x. So we want to get x by itself. So we're going to view this as a unit. M times x is a unit. In the same way I view 2 times 2 equal to 4, right? The 2's go together. Okay, so I have to get rid of the b first, so minus b. So now I have y minus b equals mx. But then I got to get x by itself because it says solve for x. So I divide both sides by m. Okay, then these cancel out. So x equals y minus b over m. There it is. Okay, next step says solve for r. So we are going to come over here. Number 9 says solve for r. So we got to get r by itself. So the opposite of multiplying by t is divide by t. And then simply the t's cancel out. So I have r equals d divided by t. That's my answer. Okay, number 10, inequalities. Okay, we're just going to try to get x on one side and the number on the other side. So we're going to do distributive property. So 3x minus 6 is greater than 9. We're going to add 6 to both sides. So we have 3x greater than 15. Again, if you want to draw the river on these, you can still do that. So I divide both sides by 3. So x is greater than 5. Just like that. Oh. It's negative 9. Okay, so we got 3x. Let's add 6 to both sides. That's my bad, guys. These cancel. It's greater than negative 3. Thought something was a little funny. So divide both sides by 3. X is greater than negative 1. Okay, so then remember it's an open circle at negative 1. And it's greater than, so I shade the side that's greater than. And that's how you graph it. Okay, number 11, we have x. Let's do distributive property. Minus 3x minus 6 is greater than or equal to 6. Let's get all of our like terms combined. So x minus 3x is minus 2x. Minus 6 greater than or equal to 6. Let's go ahead and draw that river. So I have negative 2x. We're going to add 6 to both sides. So those cancel. It's greater than or equal to 12. Okay, then what's the opposite of multiply by negative 2? It's divide by negative 2. But remember, this is the tricky part. When you divide by a negative, the sign or the alligator flips. So less than negative 6. Okay, so we're going to draw an enclosed circle. We're going to say this is at negative 6. And it's less than, so we're going to shade it just like that. Okay, number 12. So it's a long one. All you got to do is do distributive property. Negative 4 times 2x. Negative 4 times 7. So we have 6x minus 8x minus 28 is less than or equal to 9 minus 3x plus 8. So let's combine like terms. I have minus 2x minus 28 less than or equal to 17 minus 3x. Okay, then we got to combine or get x's on one side and numbers on the other. I'm going to add 3x, add 3x. Again, let's draw that river. Okay, so we have x minus 28 less than or equal to 17. Now we add 28 to both sides. So x is less than or equal to 45. So it's less than or equal to, woo, that was crazy. It get me seasick. Okay, I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know. But we're going to do a filled in circle. This is at 45, and it's less than, so we point to the side that's less than. Okay, 13. This is an and or a compound inequality. So remember, we want this middle to be just a letter. So to do that, I subtract n, or 9, from the middle, But what I do to the middle, I have to do to both sides. So now I have negative 10, n, and 8. So this says n is less than 8 and greater than negative 10. So I go to negative 10, draw a circle. Go to 8, draw a circle, and it's that space right there in the middle. So how we write that is the furthest thing on the left is negative 10. It's not equal to negative 10, so we use a parenthesis. And the furthest thing on the right is 8, and it's not equal to 8, so we use a parenthesis. Okay, down to 14. It's an OR one, so remember, your ORs are going to be in opposite directions. Your ANDs are going to be the space there in the middle. Okay, so if you go to this one, we're going to get 2x less than 10. We need it to be a letter is less than or equal or greater than a number. Okay, and then x over 2 greater than or equal to 3. So those are my two problems. The first one, you divide both sides by 2, so x is less than 5. Okay, on this one, the opposite of divide by 2 is multiply by 2. But what I do to the left, I do to the right. So here my 2's cancel out. So x is greater than or equal to 6. So we go to 5, and it's less than 5, not equal to 5. So we draw a circle. And we don't fill it in because it's not equal to. And it's less than. So we point to the less than. But at 6, it is greater than or equal to, so it's filled in dot, and we point to the greater side. So we say the furthest thing this way is negative infinity. Okay, and then you follow the line more, and then boom, we run into 5. So we write 2, 5. Or it could start at 6, but it includes 6, because remember we got that filled in circle. And that goes to infinity. Remember, with infinity, it's always parentheses, not brackets. Okay, 15, we got an absolute value equation. Remember, anytime you have absolute value, we want to isolate this first. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get that 5 out of there. Let's draw a river. Let's draw a wavy river this time. That's kind of fun. Okay. So we added 5 to both sides. So these cancel out. Boom. 2 plus 5 is 7. So we have the absolute value of v plus 8 equals 7. Okay, so remember, here's what you do when you see this. You separate this into two different equations. The first equation, write it how it is. V plus 8 equals 7. The second equation, write it, but negative, equals negative 7. And then you solve for both. So minus 8, minus 8. V equals negative 1. Minus 8, minus 8. V equals negative 15. And those are your two answers. Okay, 16. So it's already isolated. So we can just go ahead and make our two equations. So we have negative 2n plus 6 equals 6. And negative 2n plus 6 equals negative 6. Solve for both sides. So minus 6, minus 6. These cancel. These cancel. Okay, so I have negative 2n equals 0. Divide both sides by negative 2. So n equals 0. Okay, then over here, we minus 6, minus 6. Okay, so now we have negative 2n. These cancel out. Equals minus 12. How do we get rid of times or multiply by negative 2? Divide by negative 2. We say n is equal to 6. So n is equal to 0. N is equal to 6. Okay, we got a few more inequalities in the chicken farm. So here's what we got first. So these are just like the other ones. We want to isolate this first. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So I have the absolute value of x minus 4 is less than 8. Separate this into two different inequalities. So we have x minus 4. Remember, this one is exactly like it, less than 8. But this one's the tricky part. Don't get confused. We have x minus 4. We flip the or the greater than or less than sign and make it negative. So it's keep it, switch, switch. So this is the KISS method. Okay, so then we solve. So we add 4, we add 4. So x is less than 12. We add 4, we add 4. So x is greater than negative 4. So when we go over here, this is going to be an and. We say x is greater than negative 4, so filled in dot. Oh, nope. Empty dot. X is less than 12, so 9, 10, 11, 12. Open dot, and it's that space right there in the middle. So we say the farthest thing on the left is negative 4. The farthest thing on the right is 12. Okay, one more of these. So it's already in the right form, so we're going to boom, boom. Make two equations, p plus 4 less than or equal to 8. P plus 4 greater than or equal to negative 8. Again, the KISS method. Keep it, switch, switch. Okay, so you subtract 4 from both sides. So P is less than or equal to 4. Subtract 4, subtract 4. P is greater than or equal to negative 12. So then we go over here, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we say it's greater than negative 12 or equal to it, so filled in dot. And it's greater or less than or equal to 4, so filled in dot. It's that space right there in the middle. So the farthest thing on the left it could be is negative 12, and it includes negative 12 because it's greater than or equal to. And it goes to 4. And it includes 4 because it's equal to. Right? Okay, so the final problem, there's 2 chicken farms, right? Here you go. Here's your chicken farms. Wow. Wow. Here's your second chicken farm. Okay, and then you got some chickens. Except there's a lot of them. There's literally 257. So, here's a smaller chicken farm. Let's call that, we'll just call it the smaller one. And this is the bigger one. We'll call it the bigger one. So this says there's 2 chicken farms. The bigger chicken farm has 15 more chickens than the smaller chicken farm. We don't know how many chickens are in each farm. So in the first one, we're going to say x equals the number of chickens at the smaller farm. But the bigger farm has 15 more than the smaller one. Okay, but then here's some key words. So 15 more. So plus 15. The sum, which means add, of the chicken farm sum to 257 chickens. So if the sum of chicken farms at the chicken farm sum to 257, wow, double sum. How many chickens are there at each farm? So we say the smaller chicken farm plus the bigger chicken farm is equal to 257. So it's really simple. We combine our like terms. So 2x plus 15 equals 257. Okay, let's draw a river. Then we have 2x. We're going to subtract 15 from both sides. Equals 242. Okay, so then we divide both sides by 2. So x equals 121 chickens. So if I was to plug this in, I'd say the smaller farm has 121 chickens. The bigger farm has 121 less 15. So what is that? 136. I guarantee you if you add those together, they sum to 257. Well, guys, that is the study guide. If you have any questions, you can ask me before the test tomorrow. Or if you miss Oliver's class, you can ask her. But feel free to shoot me an email if you have any other questions. Anyways, hope you guys have a great night. Bye.